Rob the Backyard Gardener here. It's time for another update. A little bit more going on. Some cool things I've added. So I want to take you on a quick tour. I say quick, I know I always take forever. But let me just take you on a quick tour anyway. Quick as in Rob Backyard Gardener quick. And show you some of the noise makers I've added to keep the birds away since we've got some bird problems again. Anyway, let's go take a look. Sorry for the wind, but the wind's gonna allow you to see the kinds of things that I want to show you here. I've got some reflective tape added out here. This is supposed to keep the birds a little bit nervous, and I've even added some pie tins like this right here, so that when the wind happens, and of course now that I'm out here it'll stop, but it makes noise. This should keep the birds away. Before I get into the tour, I wanted to show you why I'm concerned about the birds. One of my Brandywine tomatoes that I've been growing, as you can see, was pecked to death, well, pecked a little bit by birds. Not even red yet. Suckers were thirsty and hungry, I guess. Anyway, noticed that a couple days ago, so I've decided to try my luck at putting some tin pie plate, out here, as well as the reflective tape and my owl. And you can hear the birds flying by. Luckily, in the last 2 or 3 days, they have not been over here. They've just been flying above. Hopefully it works. So here's my Yukon Gold potatoes grown in a container. So they're about 76 days out. And you can see that they're starting to die down. So probably in the next 1 or 2 weeks, I will be doing a video of how they look when I dig them up. Got a couple more Yukon Gold back here. And then we have our Red Chieftain potatoes right here. They do have a case of the blight. So it's only a matter of time before these start dying. Good news is, in the next 1 to 2 weeks, I'll be harvesting them all anyway. As far as the black cherry tomatoes, you'll recall that I have 2 right here. There's some beauties on here. Look at these things. I mean, that thing is monstrous for a cherry tomato. Anyway, we've got a lot more on the plant. Honestly, it's starting to fill out. We've got some right here. And we even have a few more up there. And even some more yet up there. I've also got 3 more over here in the middle bed. This middle bed's getting really tall. Last video, which was last week, they were right about here, so they grew another 6 inches this week. But we do have several more popping in on this one as well, so that's good. And even some more down over here. A couple of miscellaneous grape tomatoes here in the middle coming in. And then I've got 3 orange Mussolini tomato plants here. They're starting to catch up now. They're about 2.5 feet tall. They're starting to put out a lot of flowers. Let me see if I can get a good picture of all these flowers on these. Yeah, and we've got a nice little batch of them down here coming in very nicely. That's it really for these for now. There's nothing else really set just yet on them, but it'll be a matter of time. They'll produce a lot. I've got a few more orange Mussolini tomatoes right here. Still got the runt down there, doing just fine. As far as fruit sets on these, just a lot of flowers for now, except for this one does have, this was the runt, he does have a couple of fruit sets down here. The Elephant Gardic's doing just fine. Pretty cool. And then the big Jim peppers back there are really starting to put some size on. There's a couple on the plant that are that size, as well as a few other ones. If I were to maybe get down in here, I could show you. There's a few other ones coming in as well. So that's doing good. My Caribbean blend pepper is doing pretty good. No fruit sets just yet, but looks like it's going to be getting some shortly. My Mammoth sunflower seeds starting to really fill out, which is kind of nice. We've got a whole bunch of varieties of peppers. New Mexico Big Jim, White Devil's Tail, Bahamian Goat, couple of Bahamian Goats, and a chocolate Scotch bonnet down there. Nothing really to show you on them. They're coming in slowly, but at least they survived. I've went around the garden, guys, and I'll show you this, but I've planted some Blue Lake bush beans. I had a pack of old seeds planted out one of my beds, which I'll show you in a second, and then put the extra Blue Lake bush bean seeds as well as the extra sugar snap peas randomly throughout the garden. So we've got a whole bunch of spots where they're placed randomly. If you're watching my container grown corn series that started today, there it is right there. Please check out the video. On this side, we've got a whole bunch of basil coming in. I've got to harvest some more of this again. Here's my carrot patch right here. Doing really well. Again, some random Blue Lake bush bean. Brussels sprouts have been eaten by caterpillar. 11 of them in there. Carolina Reaper's doing pretty good. He's adjusted well from the transplant from last week, as well as the Bahamian goat that was inside that I transplanted out here. This is the second pot from my container grown corn series. Again, check out the video. Looks like third time was a charm on the Blue Lake bush beans. You can't see it that well to the chicken wire, guys, but trust me, we almost got every set of 2 plants to come up. See if I can do this without it being too bad. If you look across here, they're all coming in. As well as all my sugar snap peas. You will go through here, and I'll try to go this really slow, but we got pretty much every single one to sprout. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Anyway, looks like everything came in. I'm super excited. And then down here, guys, you can see the assortment of peppers are starting to do pretty well. We've got Banda Majak right there, and a Banda Majak right there. We've also got a caramel boot here and there, and then a recovering Jamaican Scotch bonnet. So it's good to see them recovering. I showed you the bird damaged tomato earlier. These are my 3 Brandywine tomato plants. Doing really well. Got a lot of flowers on them. And we've also got some more fruit sets. Not just the big one that's damaged down there. Isn't that disheartening? Jeez. Look at the size of it next to my finger. Last week it was just barely bigger than my finger. Now it's a lot bigger. You know, it got damaged and it's still growing. So I'm going to leave it on there for a while. I mean, I guess I should take it off, but I'm going to see if I can get it to mature, ripen, and then cut the bad section out. Probably not, but dang it, I'm too dang stingy to just let it go. Down here, let me see if I can get a good picture of it. You can see the beginning of another Brandywine tomato. And I believe right here is another one. There's a few other throughout the plants, but again, for time's sake, I won't show you all of them. These guys are huge. I had a whole bunch of red and yellow bell peppers that sprouted. I made a video about how to check for if your seeds are still good or viable, and I put like 50 in a wet paper towel method, and like 40 popped up. These were the best, I guess 15 or so, 13 of them, so I put them in this pot. I'm curious to see how they do on the bell peppers. Anyway, guys, that was again this side of the yard. Let's go take a look at the other side. I've added some stuff over there too. Okay, this is the side of the garden with the greenhouse. Wanted to show you what I've done. I'm not going to do a lot of updates on the squash, guys. We got a couple of early prolific summer squash there, as well as a couple of Cocoselle zucchini squash over there. But like I told you earlier, I planted a whole bunch of sugar snap peas randomly throughout the yard. They've coming up, or they are coming up. So I've added a chicken wire trellis for them. I did add a couple of store-bought watermelon. Now these are the Charleston Gray watermelon seeds, or watermelon plants. So didn't give them a whole bunch of space, just checking them out. They were on clearance, I picked them up. I moved the rest of my Brussels sprouts out here. I've also got one there, and we got one way back there. What else do we got? We got a strawberry patch. So I had that sad little strawberry right here, as you can see, and I added 6 more plants. So I'm really stoked. There's even a few little strawberries coming in on these. If they come in right, I'll be happy. If they don't, these plants have a happy home, and we'll see how much more they produce anyway. Got a couple of eggplants, one there and one there. Not much happening on them. They're just acclimating still. but we'll see how they do. Here's my red sweet potato. I'm gonna let it go until it either dies back or until I just feel like it's time to pull it out. Super stoked to see what I get on that one. We've got a big beef tomato plant, and right now we got some baby beef tomatoes. There's my blackberry bush coming in. I've added a couple of tomatoes over here, so let me explain it real quick. This was a sucker that I propagated inside. Once it got roots, I planted it out here. This is a black cherry, and that's a black cherry. Both were propagated from the parent plants in the yard when I was trimming them. So we'll see how they do. They've been out here for 2 days now, and I had space, so I figured why not. Got a Roma tomato down here. Not much happening. Now this one's a determinate tomato plant, so it won't get too big, so it won't have to worry about drowning out these guys. That's why he's there. We've also got the 3 Cajun bell peppers. Nothing set just yet, but we do have a bunch of flowers. So hopefully something sets. A couple of big boy tomatoes. No fruits on them yet. Again, still adjusting. I do have my Thompson Seedless grapevines. I'm training them up right now. That's my setup. Pretty generic for now. These guys are still probably a whole nother year before they produce. If I got anything this year, I'd be amazed. But if not, they'll be ready to go next year. Here's the outdoor sown corn that's been struggling. It's the same as the other 2 brands, G90 and Jackpot Hybrid. Again, this side of the yard just struggles. I was watching the sun today. It does get 7 hours of sun. I don't know if it's the soil conditions, but they don't grow very well here. As you can see, these have been in the ground a lot longer than the ones I showed you in the containers. Nothing's happening on them. Got another sunflower back there, and a white habanero pepper here, and a couple of Santa Fe Grande peppers here and here. Anyway, I wanted to come back over here and just show you I've added snap peas that are coming up, and I've made them some chicken wire trellis. Pretty simple method. Cut it and attached it with some kind of like baling wire. Actually, it was the wire that was used to hold the chicken wire together, so I used it. As well as another batch down here with the trellis. Let's go take a look inside the greenhouse. All right, guys, quick update in here. You know the routine. These are all my peppers coming in, hanging on. I've trimmed them down to nothing. Even this New Mexico Big Jim that was just branches last week looks like it's starting to recover. We've got a Heatmaster tomato with no fruit sets. We've got a Florida 91 with no fruit sets. We've got a Heinz tomato plant with no fruit sets yet. This Florida 91 does have 1 fruit set, so that's pretty cool. And then my favorite tomato plants here are these Indigo Rose. Look at these beautiful tomatoes. I'm super excited about seeing how those are. We have that one there, and we have another one over here with lots of fruit sets. These ones right here were not here when I bought the plant. These came in since they've been back here. Already starting to turn purple as well. What they look like when they're all mature is that. Isn't that gorgeous? And then of course my 3 random cherry tomato plants that I have suspended from the roof of the greenhouse. And we're starting to get a couple of pickings every single day now. So I'm excited about that. Thanks for sticking with me on another tour of my backyard garden here in 2016. It's getting more and more exciting by the week. There's some fruit sets. There's some plants that are maturing. We're getting more flowers. I cannot wait over the next couple of weeks to the next couple of months of how my harvest videos will come out. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to the next episode next week. Bye-bye.